Right now, there's only about 18 hours left in the year, and authorities around Madison say they'll be keeping a close eye to make sure everyone gets home safely to start 2020.
And we're keeping an eye on the roads this morning after snow overnight is making things pretty slick. Hattie's got your first alert forecast coming right up.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now This Morning.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us on this Tuesday, December 31st. I'm Josh Breiter.
And I'm Keely Arthur in for Leah this morning. Great to be with you guys on this last day of the decade. I can't believe it.
Yeah, it's crazy. We're starting in the weather center this morning as we got some snow to finish off the year.
Yeah, that's right. That's where all the action is this morning. Luckily, though, the accumulating snow has come to an end. That's the good news, but everything is snow covered here across southern Wisconsin. Here's a live look from the WISC-TV sky camera at Raymond Road on the west side. You can see it has been plowed, but there's still some snow left on the road. It is slippery in spots. Take it from me. I came in this morning. It was a little slick. So plan a little extra time. You'll also want to clear off the entire car this morning. Snow brush alerts. Everything has about 1 to 2 inches of snow on it here in Madison and across southern Wisconsin. So a little extra time needed. A look at Doppler track will show you that there are a few flurries or very light snow showers left, mainly east of Madison. Things are quieting down, though. We turn our attention to wind chills rather than snow for the remainder of the day. It's going to be pretty chilly today with wind chills hovering in the teens even through most of the afternoon. Now let's get a look at those road conditions this morning. Your first alert traffic maps showing you no major issues here in Madison just yet. Take it slow though. It's starting to get a little busier on the Beltline. There are some slow stretches on Highway 12 heading east of Madison towards the county line. So keep that in mind, but no other accidents to report right now. Coming up in Maine weather in just a few minutes, we'll talk about that New Year's Eve forecast. Looks like temperatures will be dropping to around 20 by midnight tonight.
All right, Hattie, thank you. At 6:02, let's take a statewide look at those roads this morning. This is the Wisconsin 511 map, and you can see a lot of these blue lines across the state. Those are actually snow-covered roads, and you'll actually see more of the pink lines on I-43 towards Milwaukee. That is ice-covered, so we are waking up with a lot of snow and ice out on the roads this morning, and of course, we are going to keep an eye on this throughout the morning.
And a little closer to home, we have a crew out on the road this morning to show you how things are looking right in our area. Mark Schilling is out. Mark Schilling is out there. You know, this is actually quite a vast improvement from what we've seen in just the last hour. A lot less snow on the road, so hopefully a bit of a safer commute this morning. The city of Madison says they have more than 30 trucks out on the roads right now, plowing and salting the main thoroughfares. For other trucks working on applying sand in residential areas, they say they won't plow every road, though. That only happens when we get more than 3 inches of snow. So you'll want to be extra careful this morning as you leave home. And this is a good reminder to download our Channel 3000 weather and traffic app. You'll be the first to know when weather that will affect your day is headed our way with the most up-to-date and accurate weather conditions. You can get it for free in your app store.
The snow is over. It may not be impacting your New Year's Eve plans, but finding a safe ride is likely on your mind for other reasons. Authorities are asking you to plan ahead to avoid drinking and driving. Detective Rob Hale with the Town of Madison Police Department says the best option is to either stay home or avoid drinking altogether. If you do hit the roads, find a designated driver or call a taxi or rideshare service. Hale says we hear these tried and true suggestions every year for a reason.
It has to work because just think of how many people have taken that and have avoided accidents. So we won't know because they've taken, you know, those safety precautions. So you could only assume that it works because they got home safe. So anytime you get home safe, you know it works.
The Dane County Sheriff's Office says law enforcement will be keeping a close eye on drivers on New Year's Eve. And, quote, for many years, drinking and driving was an acceptable habit in Wisconsin, but tougher laws and increased enforcement are making some drivers change their habits. The most recent statistics in Wisconsin match those nationally, suggesting drunk driving crashes have been trending downward for decades, but they still claim the lives of more than 10,000 people a year.
And for those of you without a designated driver tonight, programs like the Tavern League's Safe Ride offer free transportation. The program has provided almost 93,000 rides in Wisconsin just within the last year. You can simply ask your bartender about Safe Ride, or you can call the number on your screen. That's 1-800-445-9221.
Another option to get to your destination safely, even if you're not sober, Metro Transit. Madison Metro is offering free rides from 7 p.m. tonight to 3:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. Those bus routes will follow the regular weekday schedule, just with the extension of hours.
And while we are on that subject, a friendly reminder about the drinking laws right here in Wisconsin. You have to be 21 to drink, but under state law, people under 21 can drink if they are with their parents or guardians. It's up to each bar or restaurant, though, if they want to serve someone underage. And State Patrol says everyone who is driving needs to be sober before they get behind the wheel.
They might have legally been able to consume the alcohol, but we don't want to see them behind the wheel at all because they can't have any alcohol in their system.
And even though it is legal for minors to drink with a parent, the Centers for Disease Control advises against it. They say underage drinking can lead to changes in brain development, among other health issues.
In less than 24 hours, recreational marijuana will be legal in Illinois. Police officers there are being trained to recognize the signs of someone driving high. In Decatur, Illinois, if a driver is suspected of driving under the influence of marijuana with the driver's permission, officers can draw blood to test for THC. But if a driver refuses, their license will be suspended for a year. Not every department plans to do blood draws, but Chief Jim Getz says his officers believe it's the most accurate method.
Now that cannabis is legal, in certain circumstances, people think it's kind of a free-for-all. It's legal under all circumstances, and that's just not the case. And so while cannabis is, the state has said, under these certain circumstances is legal, the state has never said it's legal to drive under the influence of cannabis.
That department recently was gifted a $500,000 donation from the Howard Buffett Foundation to hire a new officer dedicated to catching drivers who are high.
And we are just a day away from the game Badger fans have been waiting weeks for. We're going to take you back to Southern California, where the Badgers, old and new, are talking about why making a return to the Rose Bowl means so much to them.
But first, you might want to stay inside for your New Year's celebrations tonight. Hattie says it'll be clear but cold. She's in next with your First Alert forecast on News 3 Now this morning.
For reliable weather day in and day out, watch First Alert Weather.
Good morning from the Hattie-O patio, all coated in a fresh layer of white this morning. This wasn't the kind of snow that stuck to every single tree branch, but definitely accumulated on the ground. It was enough to cover the grass here in Madison, about 1.5 inches. Now look at Doppler track this morning and you'll see just a few light snow showers left across the region. I can tell you that I'm seeing a few flurries here on the west side of town, but the accumulating snow has come to an end. Looking further back to the north and west, things are pretty quiet across Minnesota this morning, so no more snow in our forecast today. It is starting to look a little bit more like winter around the entire state, though. We now have a snow depth of at least a little bit, 1 inch or so, here in southern Wisconsin. Those snow depths do increase, of course, as you head north, but you really have to get into the Northwoods to see more than 1 foot of snow on the ground right now. That is just in north central Wisconsin. Here's a look at our weather track, though, which is satellite and radar combined. You can see that counterclockwise swirl with the clouds, but there are some noticeable holes in the cloud cover this morning. I expect drier air to continue to work its way into the region, and for us, that means some sunshine in the area later on today. So we can say goodbye to those real gray clouds that we had all day yesterday. Things will be clearing today. Here's a look at our current conditions in Madison. It's still cloudy here, though. 24 degrees is our temperature. No wind at the airport right now, so wind chill not really much of a factor, but where there is some wind, that wind chill really hits you right in the face this morning. Temperatures across southern Wisconsin are generally in the mid-20s. Janesville's dropped a couple of degrees now to 25. In the Dells, it's 22, and Platteville is at 23. Wind chills, though, are generally in the teens, although a few spots, it's feeling like single digits this morning. Here's a look at your future track wind speed forecast. Winds are expected to remain around 10 to 20 miles an hour through the morning, right into the early afternoon time frame. So there's still going to be a wind chill this afternoon. Winds will gradually diminish, though, as we head into this evening, so they won't be as bad tonight. Your future track forecast model keeps a lot of clouds in the area this morning, but look for some clearing as we head towards lunch hour and then especially through the afternoon. I think future track is overdoing it a little bit on the clouds today. High temperatures will be in the upper 20s. Skies will continue to clear out overnight tonight, and look for temperatures to drop into the low 20s in most spots by midnight. Overnight lows will likely be in the teens to low 20s across southern Wisconsin, but it looks to be a sunny start to 2020. Look at your extended forecast. Has highs back in the upper 30s on Wednesday, even 40s on Thursday. Friday's forecast is really our only chance for any precipitation outside of a few flurries over the next 10 days. We have a chance for rain, then possibly mixing with snow later in the day on Friday. Roads are snow covered this morning. Let's send it over to Stacy K for all the details. Good morning, Stacy.
Good morning. All right, between the snow drifts and the wind, you are going to need to slow it way down on the roads today. At least when I got here, side roads were still snow covered. Give yourself a lot of extra time to get to work today. The Beltline is in okay shape, but there still may be some snow in the left lane, but most of it is just wet, and so far no accidents have been reported. Other roads here in Dane County still may have some snow. You'll see the usual brake lights on Stoughton approaching the Beltline. Highway 14 is a little slow too. East Washington still has some snow, so take it slowly there. Another main routes heading into Madison, I am happy to report, have no crashes or delays. Let's try to keep it that way. With your First Alert Traffic, I'm Stacy K.
Stacy K and Hattie, thank you both very much. All right, we are just one day away from the Rose Bowl between the Badgers and the Oregon Ducks.
And Josh, you are an honorary Badger, but as a UW alum myself, I can say being a Badger, it's like being part of a really big family. And for a lot of the Badgers taking the field tomorrow, the Rose Bowl is definitely carrying a very family feel. Melissa Kim has more from LA this morning.
Well, good morning from downtown Los Angeles. We're right across the street from the team hotel, and the players had the night off last night. We saw a lot of them walking around downtown LA with their families. And speaking of families, one big family tradition for a lot of people is the iconic Rose Bowl, regardless of who's playing in it. And especially if you are part of the Barry Alvarez family tree, it is very, very important. Not to steal a line from the SEC, it just means more for them. Just ask Jake Ferguson. He didn't just grow up hearing about the granddaddy of them all. He got to experience it. So what advice is Grandpa Barry giving him?
Yeah, he's been sliding me some secrets and stuff at family dinners, but I can't disclose that information right now. It's already pretty big that we're here in the first place. Wisconsin has a lot of tradition in the Rose Bowl game, and I think just getting back to way Wisconsin plays football and just that typical Wisconsin ball will be really nice, and just this opportunity is really all we ask for.
I need to get in on those family secrets, BT Dubs. Now for some other guys from Wisconsin, they grew up just dreaming of wearing the Badgers uniform and playing under the lights at Camp Randall. The Chanel brothers from Grantsburg told me earlier yesterday that getting to play in a Rose Bowl and representing their town of 1,300 people, well, they just could not be more proud.
Going from a small town, we never thought we'd be here. We never even thought we'd get a college offer after our sophomore year. We didn't really know what to expect, but coming into the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl, it's unreal. And being here with my brother, someone I looked up to all my life, I couldn't be more thankful than that, and you got to thank God for it too.
Some nice thoughts there from those brothers, truly some special guys. Now, coming up later this morning, we'll get the final thoughts before game day from Badgers head coach Paul Chryst and Oregon head coach Mario Cristobal. We'll have live coverage again starting on News 3 Now at 5. But for now, in downtown Los Angeles, Melissa Kim, News 3 Now this morning.
Melissa, thank you. Now, while the team is all about business in the days leading up to the game, there are plenty of Badger fans ready to party ahead of that game.
And Eric Frog, speaking of one of those, Eric Froggy went to the annual Rose Bowl pep rally where he ran into a couple of very familiar faces ready to jump around.
Every time there is a Badger team that makes it to the Rose Bowl, one of the highlights of the week is the pep rally. And no matter where it's been over the years, it's finally found a home here in downtown Los Angeles. The Badger fans always show up in force and bring plenty of energy, and Monday was no exception.
It's one of the biggest draws of Rose Bowl week. The fanfare, the pageantry, the sea of red. From the cheerleaders to the video board highlight reels to Corey Pompey's first go-around directing the UW Marching Band at a Rose Bowl, the day would not disappoint.
And the fans never get tired of it. They always keep coming, don't they?
No, this place is the best. This place is the best. There's plenty for them to do, and then that experience out there on the first will be special for all of them.
For Barry Alvarez, he got a 73rd birthday serenade as he marks 30 years at the UW.
I've been in 9 of them.
And I would too.
Yeah, 9 Rose Bowls. I get just as excited coming this time as any of them.
Some traveled a long way to get here. Others, like LA Chargers running back Melvin Gordon, came from just down the street.
I need to be in the middle, getting pumped with them. I feel like I'm there now,
They'd love to see you. You got to go out there.
I got to. I will, though. I will. We're going to get them fired up.
Gordon telling the crowd he still bleeds Cardinal red for his Badgers and told the players to do what he couldn't do. In 2 tries, win in Pasadena.
Still got pictures from us with James and all them boys. Man, it's just moments they'll never forget, but they'll really never forget it if they leave victorious.
The venue, there's no other venue like this in sport. And to get back on that field and to experience it again, I'm just happy that our current players and coaches have a chance to experience it.
One of the other big things in addition to the game that happens out here, of course, is the Tournament of Roses parade that happens tomorrow. Later in our newscast today, we'll profile the story of a Southern Wisconsin couple. They're not only being honored as part of one of these floats, they actually got to decorate it and they will ride on it in the parade. Tomorrow we'll have their story a little bit later on News 3 Now. In Los Angeles, Eric Franke, News 3 Now this morning.
Eric, thank you. And as he just mentioned, final preparations are underway for one of the most famous parades in the world. About 1,500 volunteers are working around the clock, some as much as 12 to 13 hours per day to get the floats ready for the Tournament of Roses parade. Even if you like flowers, that's a lot of trimming. The parade route in Pasadena will be blocked off later today with the parade starting at 10 Central Time on New Year's Day.
Really gorgeous, even more gorgeous. What would a big game be without some friendly wagers? Ooh. Governor Tony Evers is getting into the Rose Bowl excitement by making a little bet with Oregon Governor Kate Brown. He is putting, this is what I'm saying is gorgeous, a 6-pack of Spotted Cow on the line, saying the Badgers will beat the Ducks. Governor Brown is putting up a bottle of Oregon wine. The Badgers are currently considered 3-point favorites over the Ducks, so we could be getting some Oregon wine. That's kind of fun.
And we've both had had both the wine and spotted cow.
What do you prefer?
I mean, I'm more of a wine drinker, but of course I got to go with the spotted cow in this case.
Yes, that is very true. I'll stick with that.
Of course, our Rose Bowl coverage doesn't stop here. Eric, Melissa, and Kevin will have updates all day long on News 3 Now and over on channel3000.com. You can also find updates on our Facebook page.
And the Rose Bowl is just one of the biggest ways we are celebrating the new year. But before we get to that, we have to ring in New Year's Eve tonight. Up next, we'll take you to New York, where the ball is ready to drop later.
And speaking of the new year, is a live look at Sydney, Australia this morning, where they're about a half hour away from 2020. They also don't have to worry about a snowy commute this time of year. And Hattie's in next with an updated look at your New Year's forecast. It's .23 right now on a Tuesday morning, and a look at your New Year's Eve forecast with Hads.
Yeah, hard to believe, just a few hours away for us. We had some snow yesterday, especially last night, so things are snow covered and a little slippery this morning. Here's a live look from our Queen Bee Radio Sky Cam in Platteville this morning. Snow covered roads there. All the accumulating snow, though, has come to an end for southern Wisconsin. Just a few flurries. So as you head out the door this morning, here's a look at your forecast. Again, temperatures in the 20s. Skies will be clearing today. We're looking at a high of 29 degrees. So not a bad day, but that wind chill will be a factor today. Here is your New Year's Eve forecast. This evening, skies will be mostly clear. Temperatures will be around 21 at midnight, dropping then into the teens. So a little cold, but not bad. No more snow in the forecast.
That That was a great forecast.
We're ringing in the new year a little early here on the show.
Yeah.
Almost New Year's in Sydney. So.
Will we even make it till New Year's?
I don't even know.
I don't know.
We're trying.
Nap is
Hattie
needed.
brought the sparkling grape juice, so we're going to
Yes.
try our best not to spill this morning.
I love this stuff. Thank you for bringing this in.
Anytime. This is a tough shift to work.
This is.
Leading into New Year's.
I bought the little party pack from Aldi for about $6.99. So
I know, you love Aldi.
You guys got the tiaras.
Yeah,
I got the little hat going.
And that was
so.
impressive. Hattie was doing the weather while putting the crown on. That took a lot of skill.
You know, you got to learn how to multitask.
Are you going to pour?
I'm going to pour. I was hoping you would pour for us.
All right, well, the countdown is on for the new year and a new decade, of course. Check this out. Here's a live look at Times Square this morning where the stage is set for tonight's festivities. The NYPD is expecting more than 1 million people to show up and crowd into the surrounding streets. And for the first time, police will actually use drones with thermal imaging as part of their security efforts there. Organizers have already tested the confetti and the ball drops, so they should be ready for everything to go.
And Netflix is releasing a list of their top shows of the 2019 season. Stranger Things topped the list. The Witcher, The Umbrella Academy, and Tidying Up with Marie Kondo rounded out the list. Jailbirds, a story about women in prison, and the music quiz show Rhythm and Flow were the top 3 other most popular nonfiction series. And the comedy specials from Dave Chappelle and Kevin Hart also were really high rated. Did you guys watch any of those?
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things, okay. I like a lot of the comedy specials, so I watched some of those. And we were saying that today might be a good time to stay indoors and watch Netflix.
That's true.
Yeah, it's definitely
or
TV day.
Read. You can read some books. We also have a list of the best-selling books of the decade. And take a look. All 50 Shades of Grey
All
are the top
50
3.
Shades.
Hattie, did you ever read those?
I didn't read those.
I didn't either. I watched the movies, but...
I cannot believe that of all the other books out there, but good for
That's
50
a lot
Shades
of
of Grey.
copies.
Good for
Yeah, rounding out the top 5, though, The Hunger Games, of course. That's a good one. And then The Help.
The Help.
I haven't
The
read
Help.
them, but like I know I've heard a lot of good things. But
Yes, and we were talking, we've seen the movies, so that's a start.
That's a start. Hey,
No,
my
I
New Year's
actually-
resolution, though, is to read more in 2020.
Yeah, there you go. The Help is a good book. I actually read that one. I'm impressed that I read something that was on the list.
Oh, there you go.
Yes!
All
I
right.
read The Hunger Games. All right,
Cheers, ladies.
cheers.
Cheers to 2020.
Yay.
Glad that we're ringing it in early a little bit. Still ahead for us, we're heading back out on the road to give you a look at this morning's commute and how it's shaping up. Stay with us. This is News 3 Now This Morning.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back on this Thursday, December 31st. I'm Josh Breiter.
And I'm Keely Arthur. It is the last day of the decade. That is crazy when you put it like that.
It really is.
And we're starting off with kind of one of the first days of real winter-looking weather.
Yeah, we are. Definitely. Some snow fell last night. Everything is white now this morning across southern Wisconsin. So it's looking a little bit more like winter. In case you were wondering, it's a snow boot kind of day today. We have a fresh layer of snow, about 1.5 inches here in Madison. Sidewalks are slippery, though. Take it from me, I almost fell twice on my way from the car into the building this morning. Wind chills will be in the teens today as well, so you want to have the thicker winter gear on today. No accumulating snow, though, left across the area. Just a few flurries flying, mainly east of Madison. Our forecast is relatively quiet for today. Temperatures are in the 20s. Wind chill, though, will be a factor. Yep, I have wind chill back in the forecast. It'll feel like the lower teens this morning, only around 20 this afternoon, so kind of a chilly day ahead. What does that snow mean for the roads this morning? Let's get a look at your first alert traffic maps. We are noticing some slowdowns on Highway 14 as you approach the Beltline this morning, getting a little busier on East Washington as well heading into town. There have been some scattered slow spots, but no major accidents to report this morning, which is always good news. Take it easy, though. Those roads could be snow covered and slippery. 3 things to know going forward. We'll talk more about colder conditions as we head into the first full week of 2020.
I guess you could say it's a good thing the snow came in last night and not tonight, because a lot more people will be out tonight.
Definitely.
All right, Hattie, thank you.
You're welcome.
And there are definitely some slick stretches right now, so you'll want to be extra careful this morning.
Yeah, let's take a live drive look at the Wisconsin DOT map right now. You can see a lot of snow-covered roads, those blue lines indicating snow-covered roads, and down to the southeast of Madison, you can see the pink lines towards I-43 in Milwaukee. That's actually ice-covered roads. So obviously with all of that snow and ice, you're going to want to take it slower out there this morning, as those highways tend to be worse as you go north especially.
Very good advice. And our photographer extraordinaire, yes, exactly, Mark Schilling, is driving out on the roads, braving the conditions, so you get a better sense of what your morning commute is going to look like. And Josh, I have to say, we've been checking in with Mark all morning, and the roads look way clearer than they did just an hour ago.
Yeah, you can tell us. I mean, we've been on the air since 4:30, and they're a lot more clear now. And we talked about us coming in around 3 o'clock this morning, and there are a lot of crews out on the roads this morning trying to get everyone.
And that hard work obviously paying
yes.
off. It looks great. Madison says they have had 30 trucks out on the roads overnight, plowing and salting the main thoroughfares. 4 other trucks work to apply sand in residential areas. And they say they won't really have to plow every single road, though. They only do that when we get 3 inches of snow or more. So just be extra careful. I know things look pretty good right now, but obviously it's hard to get to all those snowy patches. So just take some extra precaution this morning.
You can always get the most up-to-date traffic conditions and a fast, accurate forecast with the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather and Traffic app. You'll be the first to know when weather that will affect your day is headed your way, and you can get it for free right now in the App Store.
In campaign 2020 coverage, President Donald Trump is making his way to the Badger State. The president will be holding a campaign rally in Milwaukee in just 2 weeks on January 14th at the UW Milwaukee Panther Arena. The rally will be held the same night that CNN and the Des Moines Register are sponsoring the first Democratic debate of 2020 over at Drake University in Iowa.
Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden says he would consider choosing a Republican running mate should he win his party's nomination. The comment came during a town hall event in New Hampshire after a voter asked the former vice president if he would reach across the aisle to form a bipartisan ticket.
You know, there's some really decent Republicans that are out there still. But here's the problem right now of the well-known ones. They've got to step up.
Biden says it's important that he picks someone who knows his priorities.
And federal hate crime charges are now being filed against the suspect in the stabbing attack at a Hanukkah celebration in New York. At a community gathering in Rockland County, New York, residents held up their cell phone flashlights as a show of unity for the victims of Saturday night's stabbings. The suspect, 37-year-old Grafton Thomas, is being held without bail. He is charged with 5 federal hate crimes, 1 for each victim.
The former Jefferson County Sheriff's deputy company accused of entering homes as the owners attended funerals is waiving her right for a preliminary hearing. Janelle Garricky is currently being held on a $10,000 bond. She allegedly used online obituaries to determine when relatives would be attending the funerals of loved ones. According to a criminal complaint, Garricky broke into or attempted to enter 7 different homes, including the house of late Lake Mills Fire Captain Chris Truman. In court yesterday, a judge ruled that Garricky would not have any contact with victims or witnesses. She's scheduled to be back in court in February.
The National Transportation Safety Board says it could be 2 years before we know the cause of the Hawaii helicopter crash that killed all 7 passengers, including Amy and Jocelyn Gannon, a mother and daughter from right here in Madison. Federal investigators arrived on the scene yesterday. They say the remote and rugged terrain where the crash occurred could make it really difficult or even impossible to figure out what caused the wreck. The NTSB will look at several factors, including the pilot, aircraft, and weather to determine the cause.
UPS is now calling this Friday National Returns Day.
I believe it. The company expects January 2nd to be the peak day with a record 1.9 million packages being shipped through its network. That's up 26% from just a year ago. Experts say with the growing wave of online shopping, lots of packages are heading back to retailers. UPS also predicts record numbers on Thursday because it's the first work day of the new year. The company says many people buy online with the intention of returning the product if they don't like it.
6:36 right now, and coming up in the morning sprint, we'll tell you how local authorities are working to keep everyone staying safe this New Year's Eve.
And we'll tell you the story of a dog who was thrown from a moving car and now looking for their forever home. That's next on News 3 Now this morning. Welcome back. We've been asking you to share your morning with us, and check out this gorgeous photo Tiffany shared with us. We were saying we think that might be a river down there. A gorgeous sunrise in that photo as well.
Very winter-like, Tiffany. We love it. Thank you for sharing. If you've got a photo that you'd like to share with us, please do so. Take a picture and post it on the Channel 3000 Facebook page or on Instagram or Twitter. Use the hashtag MyNews3Morning, and we'll share our favorites right here on News 3 Now this morning.
And it really can be anything people can send. People think they need to send in just like sunrises. They can
Can
send
be
in
anything, yeah.
We love them all. All right, we love this story too. A puppy that was reportedly thrown out of a moving car window this weekend is recovering.
And now the injured pup could soon have a new leg. According to the Dane County Humane Society, a woman witnessed this happen on Park Street. The 2-month-old puppy named Kringle had a fractured front right leg that was so severe it had to be amputated. But now a local business is offering to make him a prosthetic leg for free.
Once we find out what level of amputation it is, then we start our problem solving and go into, okay, what joints are left? How do we replicate what is now missing?
The patients that visit Hanger Clinic in Monona are usually human, but Kringle could be their first dog patient. Although they've been able to also help out a few goats and a mule in the past. Once Kringle has been recovered, he will be available for adoption.
It's amazing what medicine and science can do, helping that little guy out.
Yeah, and it's crazy that he's a puppy. Oh, look at those eyes. How can somebody not just want to bring him home?
He is up for adoption, Josh.
There
Maybe
you go.
you should adopt him.
Dane County Humane Society.
Yes. Well, the snow may have wrapped up earlier this morning, but you're still going to want to take it pretty easy on the roads. Major highways are probably going to be pretty clear as temperatures warm back up, but a lot of area roads are still snow covered. Hattie's going to have the latest in our New Year's Eve forecast next.
But first, it is December 31st. But today's Look Who's 3 is a New Year's Day baby. We want to say Happy New Year and happy birthday to Bryce and all the other kids turning 3 over the next couple of days. Thanks for celebrating with us on News 3 Now this morning. 6:45 on this New Year's Eve, and kind of a cloudy look at downtown Madison this morning.
A little gloomy out there.
Yeah, kind of a gloomy end to this decade, Hattie, and we got a little snowfall overnight.
We definitely did, and I've been rounding up some snow reports across the area and across the entire state, so you can see how much snow fell. One of the higher spots that I saw, Loyal, 10 inches of snow. Menominee, my hometown, 8 inches of snow over the last 24 hours. About 5 in Toma, Beaver Dam 2, and 1.5 here at the station. Now again, we'll continue to update this list as those snow spotters wake up and send in their reports yet this morning, but you get the idea. Heaviest snow up to the north. Now the accumulating snow has come to an end for southern Wisconsin. Just a few flurries lingering here and there, but no more snow in our forecast for today. Take a look at the radar map zoomed out, and it is definitely quiet across Minnesota and Iowa. So this storm is going to be history for us. 3 things to know going forward. It's going to be a pretty quiet start to 2020. We're looking at dry conditions for tomorrow. Looking further ahead, though, it is January after all, and temperatures are going to cool down. I don't have anything like last January in the forecast just yet, but it will be noticeably colder. Take a look at your temperature trend above normal through the rest of this week, and then as we head into next week, normal high right around 26 degrees. We'll fall short from that by just a few degrees each day. Now, here's a look at weather track, looking at the clouds specifically on this map. Still some lingering clouds across southern Wisconsin, although there are some holes developing in that cloud cover at this time. Dry air will continue to work into the area and clear out those clouds. 24 right now in Madison, 25 in Janesville. In the Dells, you're looking at 22 degrees. It's only part of the story, though, this morning. Wind chills are down in the teens and even a few spots in the single digits this morning. Feels like 9 in Monroe. Camp Douglas feels like 9 as well, and in Viroqua. So it is a chilly start to the day. Now, winds are from the northwest right now, around 10 to 20 miles an hour. As we put this map into motion, we'll stop it at lunchtime today, and you'll still see not a lot of change in that wind speed. It's going to be quite breezy through the morning hours with those strong winds continuing into the early afternoon time frame. They do start to diminish, though, especially later this evening, and by midnight or shortly thereafter, wind speeds will be down to less than 10 miles an hour. But wind chill will definitely be a factor today. We're starting out feeling like it's in the single digits and low teens. By lunchtime today, feels like temperature is only in the mid-teens. It doesn't get much better than that during the afternoon. 5 p.m. we're still looking at teens. So at midnight tonight, if you are out, here's a look at what it will feel like across southern Wisconsin. Most places feeling like it's around 10 degrees. Your extended forecast has temperatures warming up, though. Southwesterly winds kicking in tomorrow with a high of 37. Should see a nice sunrise for the first morning of 2020. That'll be a nice change for us. There is some rain and snow in the forecast on Friday, but overall looking pretty quiet for the upcoming weekend. And we'll end the year with one of the cutest pet pictures ever. Look at Barley and Hops, and I mean, that dog is smiling.
Adorable.
So cute.
I love the names.
Barley and Hops.
Yes.
Do you think they like beer?
Probably.
Probably.
And we like our sparkling white grape juice. The bottle is
We've already
empty.
both-
Josh and I, you're doing the weather, working hard. Josh
We're
is
just over here
drinking.
slamming them
Nice
back.
job, guys. You know, I was going to serve this to my kids tonight, but I guess I'll pick up
It's
another
5
one.
o'clock somewhere, right? Oh, that was weak. There we go.
Josh has been doing that all morning. I'm like,
I'm gonna drive everyone nuts.
I wasn't awake yet. Yeah.
All right,
have
stay
to
with
catch
us.
up.
The morning sprint is up next. Cheers.
Cheers.
Don't
It is 6:51, time for the last morning sprint of 2019.
Another big weather morning here in Madison. We start with a live look out on the roads this morning after some overnight snow, making your morning commute a little tricky. This is a live look from our photojournalist, Mark Schilling. We've seen a lot of snow-covered roads this morning, especially on side streets and areas that aren't heavily traveled. The city of Madison had trucks out plowing those main routes and sanding overnight, but they say that they only plow every road in the city when we get more than 3 inches of snow.
And the accumulating snow has come to an end. You can see across Wisconsin that the clouds are already starting to clear, especially to the north and west. So look for some sunshine later today. Wind chill, though, is back in the forecast. It feels like around 10 degrees this morning. Wind chill's only climbing to about 20 degrees later on this afternoon.
And the snow may not be impacting your New Year's Eve plans, but determining a safe ride is likely on your mind for other reasons. Authorities are asking you to plan ahead to avoid drinking and driving. Extra patrols will be out, keeping a close eye on the roads. Detective Rob Hale with the Town of Madison Police Department says the best option is to either stay home or avoid drinking. If you do hit the roads, find a designated driver or call a taxi or ride share service.
There are plenty of free options to get you home safely tonight. The Tavern League Safe Ride program is free and provided almost 93,000 rides in Wisconsin last year. In Madison, Metro buses will also be free from 7 tonight until 3:30 in the morning. The bus routes will follow the regular weekday schedule, just with extended hours.
A reminder about state laws. Even though people under 21 can drink when they are with their parents or guardians, it's up to each bar or restaurant to decide whether they'll serve that person. State Patrol reminds you that even if there are legal ways to drink underage, it's always illegal to drink and drive. The CDC also warns against the effects of underage drinking on the brain.
2 other OWI concerns. Recreational marijuana becomes legal in Illinois in less than 24 hours. Police officers across the state are being trained to recognize the signs of someone driving high. Officers there will have the right to ask for a blood draw if they suspect someone is driving high. Beloit's police chief has also expressed some concerns about people smoking in Illinois and crossing the border.
President Trump is returning to Wisconsin this month, this time with a stop in Milwaukee. His rally will be held at the same time as the next televised Democratic debate in Iowa. It'll be held on January 14th at the Panther Arena on the campus of UW Milwaukee. It's the latest of several trips to the Badger State for the president, ahead of Wisconsin likely being a key battleground state in next year's election.
Presidential candidate Joe Biden says he won't rule out a Republican as his running mate if he wins the Democratic nomination. He made those comments at a town hall in New Hampshire yesterday after a voter asked if he would reach across the aisle for a bipartisan ticket. Biden says there are, quote, some really decent Republicans, but he couldn't think of anyone he'd want to run with offhand.
And the Wisconsin Election Commission says it'll wait for further court rulings before deciding what to do with an order to purge tens of thousands of voters from the rolls. Earlier this month, a judge ruled that group must deactivate the voter registrations of 144,000 to 200,000 people who were sent a 2019 movers mailing and either did not respond or whose letter was returned as undeliverable. If a state appeals court puts the judge's order on hold, no commission action would be required.
The West Virginia cadets and staff involved in a Nazi salute photo have all been fired. The photo surfaced earlier this month. West Virginia Governor Jim Justice announced that he has approved the recommended terminations. The photo is of the Division of Corrections and Rehabilitation Academy class number 18. Governor Justice said in a statement that he condemns the actions in the, quote, strongest possible terms.
And we'll hear from Badgers head coach Paul Chryst later today, a day before his team takes the field against the Oregon Ducks in the Rose Bowl. Yesterday, we saw the annual pep rally with Barry Alvarez and former Badgers running back Melvin Gordon in attendance. Our coverage is continuing all day here on News 3 Now. The game is tomorrow at 4.
6:56, Stacy K has a final look at your first alert traffic. Hi, Stacy.
Hi. Well, there is a reported crash between the interstate and Stoughton on the westbound side of the Beltline, causing some delays in that area. The Beltline is otherwise okay. There still may be some snow in the left lane, but most of it is just wet, and it's a little slow also between Stoughton and West Broadway on the westbound side. Inbound John Nolan looks to be mostly just wet and is starting to get busy at the Rimrock and Nolan Avenue intersections. East Washington still has some snow and slush, so take it slowly there. Another main route's heading into Madison. Happy to report no other crashes or delays. Let's keep it that way. With your first alert traffic, I'm Stacey K.
All right, thank you, Stacey and Hattie. Wet start, but it should clear up.
It should, yeah. Improving weather conditions today. You can see a few holes in that cloud cover looking over downtown Madison this morning from our Edgewater Sky Cam. Here's a look at your New Year's Eve forecast. This evening, temperatures will be dropping through the 20s, around 21 at midnight tonight with mostly clear skies. Wind chill again, making it feel just a little bit colder, but a nice clear start to 2020.
All right, Hattie, thank you. And thanks for joining us, everyone. Happy New Year. We don't have a show tomorrow, but we'll see you back here on Thursday.